Yes. Welcome to the very first Nipype broadcast. We're going to learn how to contribute to Nipype codebase using Git and GitHub. It's going to be very exciting. It's going to change your lives. So I'll start with sharing my screen. Okay. Okay, can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Excellent. So I'm joined here together by Oscar from Madrid, Satra from Boston, and the Leipzig crowd from Leipzig. And so the first step to contribute code to Nipype is to be on GitHub. So I'm gonna, for this very purpose, sign up. And this is how GitHub looks like if you don't have an account. So I'm gonna start a new account. It's like a fake account, my fake email address. This is required before we even begin, and some password. It should be longer. And should have letters. Actually, I can do this. All right, cool. So I can sign up, and then I can choose my free one. And now I am on GitHub. And I got an email that you want to verify my email, that's all fine. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to find Nipype. And there it is, Nipype/Nipype. And this is where the code base is, and you can see a little bit of documentation, information on how to look for help. And on this page, there are a few interesting things that would be useful for developers. First of all, we have a log of all commits. And a commit is a single instance or single unit of object. So here you have a chronological log of all the changes to the code. So for example, here there's a little change where I removed a line in this file. And I say I mean my alter ego, which is this different account. Okay. So this is the log. And the other thing we see here are issues. As you can see, Nipype is a very troubled young man with many issues. And there are over 100 open issues right now. They're categorized in different categories, and also see discussion about them. So this is kind of like a forum for talking about code and what different features should be there. And last but not least, we're going to talk about our pull requests. We're going to get back to that, but for the time being, pull requests are attempts or propositions to include a piece of code into the Nipype code. So, for example, I can see here a user submitted a patch or a series of commits for revision to be included in Nipype, and you can see what are those changes. And we added some files, modified some files, etc., etc. And there's also a conversation about it. There are people commenting about this code, and this is how we kind of try to reach an agreement on what should go in, what still needs some work. Okay, but this is the main repository, And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to fork it and I create my own GitHub copy of this repository, to which I will contribute my changes that will later be revised or considered for inclusion. And to do that, I have to click fork. And as you can see, this number, there are 147 forks made by different developers on GitHub. And mine will be 148. And you see this beautiful forking animation. And there we go. We just created a fork. And as you can see, this thing changed. We have now fake philo/Nipype instead of Nipype/Nipype. And it says it has been forked from Nipype/Nipype. So let me kind of give an example of a change. I simply click there. So let's say I have found a typo. Kind of like the simplest change I can think of. And you can see that this word is misspelled. And there are different ways to modify the code or modify the documentation and send it back. And you can do it straight from GitHub, or you can do it using the command line tools. And I'll show you the straight from GitHub part later because it's a bit limited. But I'm going to show you now how to do it from the command line with the command line tools. So first thing we need to do is, you don't see everything, so I'm going to switch to a different screen sharing. Yes, so now you see, yes, so now you see my terminal. See my terminal? Oh, no, sorry. Do it again. Hi. Is this big enough, or should I make it bigger? Folks? Well, I'll assume it's big enough. Okay. The yes?
Yeah, we can see you. Out of the microphone. Yes, we can see it.
Okay, cool, excellent. Okay, so I'm gonna just go to the folder. I'm gonna create a folder called source code. Okay, cool. This is my source code folder, and now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna clone this repository. So what I need is I need to copy this URL. It's called the clone URL. Yes?
Could you make the letters somehow larger in your command line? Because
yes, of course. Which I remember how to do and then I forgot and then cool. No, it's so big.
That should be all right.
Sorry.
All right, cool. So can you see this?
Yes.
I can see it. Okay. One more change because now I cannot see it, which is kind of not very good. change the rows to 15. Bigger, too big. It'll be fascinating watching this. Okay, is this still readable?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh yeah, excellent. Okay, so we're in the source code folder, and we are going to copy this clone URL. And so what I'm using here is the terminal, and that terminal can be opened in Linux or Mac. And I assume that you guys know how to do it. So I'm going to also assume that Git is installed, which is true for most. I'm going to git clone and paste this URL. And what it will do, it's going to copy this repository, so all the files in it, as well as all of the history. So I'll be able to browse the history as well locally. So it's fully asynchronous, excellent for working on the train or the plane, because you don't actually need the internet to make contributions. You can do it and then sync it later, and I'm going to show how to. Okay. So we have this, and now a few basics of Git. So I can git branch, and we tell, first of all, that this created a new folder called Nipype. So I go to Nipype, git branch, and I can see that there's one branch called master. And I can do git remote. There's one remote called origin. Small v is for both. I can see that the origin remote is my fork. So what is a remote? So right now, we actually mentioned 3 locations where the Nipype code resides. One is the main Nipype repository on GitHub, which is the Nipype/Nipype. Then we have our fork on GitHub, which is the fake hello/Nipype. And now there's a third one, which is my own computer, because I just cloned it. So when I clone on my own computer, I can tell it that there's a remote. And that remote is, in my case, my own fork. So let's say I'm going to go and check and make that change and do something about that typo. So let's locate it. So I can go to inbox. So I'm gonna. There it is. So the way we try to organize stuff when it comes to code contributions is that for every feature you're working on, we would create a new branch. And a branch in this kind of code versioning world is basically a version of the code that could live in parallel to other versions of the code. So commits are in a way sequential, and branches can kind of live along each other. And why we do it this way? Because you might be working on multiple branches at the same time. You might be working on these fixes in documentation, and you can also have a separate branch where you're working on adding a new interface for a new FSL tool. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to create a branch. I'm going to git branch, and I'm going to call it fix typo. I'm going to git branch. I can see that there are two branches now. There's master and there's fix typo. And I'm still in master because there's a star next to it. So I'm going to check out fix typo. And so now we are again in the branch. You can see that I am in the fix typo branch. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going actually to fix that typo. Okay, so I am editing that file, like any other file, it doesn't matter. And I will change that every time. Okay, I'm saving the file, and now I can see the status, and it tells me that there is one modified file that is not staged. And staging and Git involves telling Git which files you want to include in this snapshot of the code. So this could be, you could explicitly say that I want to include these changes, but I still need to do some work on these other files, so I don't want to take a snapshot of everything. And you have to be explicit about it. It doesn't track it automatically. It will tell you which things were modified, but then you have to tell it which things to include. And to do that, you do use git add. And now if I do git status, you can see that before we had changes not staged for commit, and now it's switched to changes to be committed. So now I can actually comment. So I can do git comment. And before I do git comment, there's one more thing. I need to set up my username that corresponds to the email address I used to register at GitHub. And I don't remember how to do this, so I'm going to quickly. Okay. So we're going to use the single repository in this particular case because I've had my real GitHub account, which I use every day. But you can actually use the every repository and then use the global option. So I copied that line, and now I'm going to set the config in this particular repository. So my email will correspond to the one I used for registration, and that email was fake, as I remember. Okay. And it's important to do it before you start committing stuff, because when you do a commit, then your email will be on it, and GitHub will be a bit confused if that email is not the one that you used for registration. So better do it first thing that you do when you set up your repository. Okay, so we are sending it. When you do this, your default editor Yes, here. And here it tells these files were changed, and above this I should enter the comment message, which describes the changes I did. And we have to do it each time, even if the changes are self-explanatory. So I'm going to just say fix, save this, and I close it. And this can look differently depending on what is your default editor on your computers. And now you can see I did git commit, and the commit was committed, everything is fine. But now this is still local. I still only see it on my local machine. If I do git log, I can see the history. There's a fixed typo here, and this is my comment. So what I need to do now is to push it to GitHub. And I'm going to do this by doing git push. And now I have to my username. Oh, that was the name. And I also need my password, which I don't remember, but I can hope I can recover it. Yes. So username, and now I need my password. And it doesn't work for some mysterious reason. Maybe I need to. Well, it doesn't work. Let me quickly turn off the screen sharing and figure out why the authentication doesn't work. Excellent. And in the meantime, if you have any questions, I'm very happy to answer. No questions? Okay. Well, no questions. It means that everything is very clear. Define. Oh, I figure out why. I feel right instead of. Okay, so let me go back to screen sharing. Alright, cool. So I'm going to git push this particular branch. Oh, fix typo. So I'm pushing by setting git push name of the remote, which is the origin in our case, so there are no others, and the name of the branch, which is the fixed type. And now you can see that this branch has been pushed to GitHub. And when I go to GitHub, you can already see that it tells me there's this new branch. And I can go to it. And if I click compare and pull request, I will see my comments and the changes I made. So this is those are the diffs, differences between the previous version and the thing that I'm proposing to add. So here I just changed this typo and I'm gonna click create. And now this pull request shows up at the main repository Nipype/Nipype along other repositories. So you can see that I actually got an email saying that someone just sent me. And here everyone can see it and comment on it. So for the rest of the tutorial, I'm going to sign out and log in again, but using my root credentials. And here I can see already that fake philo has sent a pull request. That's number 1077. And I can see the changes, I can see the comments, and I can say great job, me. Yes, and now we have a conversation. I can have a conversation with myself, which is also my pastime activity. But for the time being, what I will do is I'll just merge. And there should be at least. But okay, so and now I can just merge it. So if I click merge, it'll ask me to confirm it. And now it is part of the main repository. So if I go to Nipype, and I go to documents, quick start, and you can see that this is fixed, which is fantastic. So there's one more thing that you need to do when you are using your own repository, which is updating from the upstream. So let's say you've been working on something, and in the meantime, someone else added some features that were merged into the main repository. So the procedure for that is that you have to add one more remote, which is not your fork, but the main repository. And so we're going to go to Nipype, and we're going to take the clone URL and git. I'll give the name, I'll call it upstream. And see, this is the main repository, which is Nipype. Okay. Now I can do the checkout master. And what I want to do now, I want to pull from upstream into the master to get most active data. Pull and as you can see, there was one change because I merged it on GitHub. In the meantime, the master branch was updated with the changes I actually made. But those changes could have been made by someone else, so it serves the same purpose.
Chris, can I ask something?
Yeah, sure.
What is the difference between pull and fetch from upstream?
Excellent question. So git fetch grabs all the data and puts them kind of aside. So you could see, for example, here that there was a new branch created called upstream/master. And this is what fetch does. It copies the code and puts it into separate branches. What git pull does is it does the fetch, and then it merges those branches into the thing that you are currently in. So what git pull does is it does git fetch, which creates upstream master, followed by git merge upstream master. So if you do just git fetch, you have all the information, but it's not integrated into your branch.
So is there any reason to do
Fetch?
Sorry?
Sorry,
Is there any reason for doing fetch and then merge instead of pull, or is it just complicated?
No, I don't see any normal reason why to do that. Although there might be some weird situation.
Okay.
I cannot think of anything. Git fetch is useful when you want to. There's someone else working on a branch on some feature, and you want to fetch that feature and start off that branch, his or hers branch. So you would git fetch, for example, Satra's repository, and check out one of his branches and branch off that branch to add some extra stuff and send it back to him. And this is where git fetch would be useful, but this is not the same as git fetch plus git merge. And this all would be much more clear, will be much more clear when you guys start doing it yourself. And speaking of git merge, we talked about it, but I haven't done it. So git merge is useful, and you're going to do it most of the time when you're working on a branch, and in the meantime, sometimes update something, and you do git pull on your master branch. But then you have to go to your feature branch and merge those changes. So I'm going to simulate that. It's not going to do anything because we are all up to date. I'm going to check out the fixed typo branch. So now I'm in fixed typo branch. And what I can do now is merge master. And since there are no differences between those two branches, this will not do anything, but you can imagine that someone else just added something to the main repository. I did git pull on master, and now I'm merging master here, and those changes will appear here. Sometimes there will be also conflicts, but hopefully not very complicated, and we can talk about resolving conflicts on some other occasion. So how does it feel so far? Was that kind of clear?
Sorry, what was that?
Yes.
Was that clear? Was that useful?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, was good.
I'm gonna end on that note.